Good afternoon, teacher Michael. Today we are going to debate about the topic. Society is the reason why we have not stopped climate change. This is agree team and this is disagree team. First of all, I confirm that society is cause of climate change because humans are causing of climate change. We cannot deny that people in every society are the cause of climate change. And next, I will talk about pollution, which are water pollution and air pollution. Nowadays, people use vehicle so much which make more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. For example, cars, motorbikes and trucks to transport instead of walking. So those increase carbon dioxide to the atmosphere that related to climate change because it increased the temperature of the planet. Moreover, water pollution is another cause of climate change as well because some people in society or some group, such as factory, they sometimes release a waste from factory into water or canal. Because of their careless, it makes the river or the environment around polluted. Now we can see that climate change, it's all from about human behavior or society. The more people in society ignore, the more climate change increase. According to the journal Science, temperatures are rising faster than they have in the past 100 years. Since the beginning of human civilization, it means that the more humans civilize, the more temperature of the atmosphere or planet are rising. Thank you.
Thank you for your statement. It's actually true that there are pollution from society's industry, but I find something that it still makes your statement weak. I disagree that pollution from society's industry because there is an international treaty which is called Kyoto Protocol. That's a connection about government. The Kyoto Protocol implemented the objective of UNFCCC to fight global warming by reducing greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere to a level that would prevent dangerous anthropogenic interference with the climate system. And a country that emits most is America, but America has not signed yet. It shows that it's hardly possible that all countries in the entire world will sign the treaty. It points out that government in those countries which have not signed don't take serious about the climate change, and so I think the main cause of pollution is from the government. Thank you.
Okay, for the statement 1, first of all, I want to explain what is a society for the clear class understanding. The definition from the advocatecourse.com: society is a non-commercial organization and also known as non-business entity. It's like organization that have been formed by a group of people in order to pursue a common, not for a profit goal. Is that to pursue a state goal without the intention of distributing excess revenue to the member or the reader. For the statement 1, I am strongly disagree that society is the reason we have not to stop the climate change because human activity is just the partly cause, but mostly cause is come from the commercial organization. According to Greenpeace organization, it shows that the main cause of climate change is burning energy, coal, oil, and gas. The most countries that release carbon dioxide now are listed as China, USA, Russia, India, and Japan. Also, the statistics data from the Guardian.com show that now China emits 48% more carbon dioxide than the world and is responsible for the quarter of the world's emissions. Most of carbon dioxide come from the state industrial company. And those 5 countries are top list of the high release carbon dioxide. Those are also the wealthy country and industrial country that's full of commercial organization. Main organizations that cause climate change are the sector of oil, gas, producer, and technology hardware and equipment. It's clear that society is not the reason that have not to stop climate change. The main cause is commercial organization. Thank you.
Well, I disagree with your statement because the effect or the causes of climate change related to demand and supply, which is commercial organization. Because human needs it more and more in every day, therefore the commercial organization has to produce more product for human needs. If produce more product, it means that we use the environment more and more. So I think the commercial organization is the cause of climate change. The commercial should prove it. Yes, thank you.
Good afternoon. I do agree with the society is the reason why we haven't stopped climate change, because there's increasing evidence of human influences on the climate system. Human activities are directly influencing the composition of the atmosphere by increasing the concentration of naturally occurring greenhouse gases and by adding new ones. We are also changing the reflectivity of parts of the Earth's surface. The only effective means of preventing climate breakdown is to also leave fossil fuels in the ground and reduce the great amount of energy we waste. Air travel leaves behind a huge carbon footprint. Since 18% of greenhouse gas emissions come from meat and dairy production. Food writer Michael Pollan, he said, sums it up best. He said, eat food, not too much, mostly plants. Many of these processes are unaffected by human activity, including the extraterrestrial factors and factors associated with the Earth's tectonic activity, exchange of heat and gases between the Earth's atmosphere and its oceans and land vegetation are also natural influences on the climate system. But these processes are now being affected by human activities to various degrees. For example, the presence and composition of the Earth's atmosphere produces a natural greenhouse effect, and the atmosphere contains gases such as water vapor and carbon dioxide that are relatively transparent to the sun's shortwave radiation, but absorb some of long-wave radiation that is radiated from the Earth's surface. This causes the average temperature on Earth to be about 33 Celsius degree, warmer than it would be if there were no atmospheric, it's called blanket. As discussed above, changes to atmospheric composition through human activity is the main factor through to be causing the climate to shift from its natural state.
As you gave an example that air traveling is one of few unnecessary activities, so I do not agree that air traveling is unnecessary because it is the fastest way to get from one place to another. It helps us save a lot of time, so I don't think that it is unnecessary. The International Civil Aviation Organization states that total carbon dioxide aviation emissions are not approximately 2% of the global greenhouse emissions, which is less than industrial society pollutes. Thank you.
For me, I strongly disagree that society is not the reason we have not to stop climate change, but industry carbon burning is causing global warming, again, not human activities. Climate change is caused by industrial activities, and all of those activities are incentivized by government policy, which industry go out of its way to influence. For humans, they are certainly responsible for climate change on some level, and just a few of us, particularly in industry and government, are a lot more responsible than the rest of us. And it is industry practice and government policy that largely determine emission our human activities produce. From a scientific perspective, recent climate change is caused by excess of heat trapping emission in the atmosphere. Our industrial carbon emission come from more than 90 institutions. Several of those institutions include Chevron, ExxonMobil, BP, Shell, and ConocoPhillips have extracted more carbon from the earth than most countries. It is clear that the gas happen to be coming from extracting and then burning a massive amount of coal and oil, as well as destroying the forest, so that society simply don't produce the heat trap gas that are repeatedly altering the climate change. And I strongly agree that industries' carbon burning is causing global warming, not society.
Thank you for your opinion, but I think carbon dioxide that humans release into the atmosphere is from burning fossil fuel. These are from energy possession and transportation. Moreover, Changing agricultural land and destroying the forest are the main causes. For example, trees can naturally absorb carbon when the trees are alive. They absorb carbon, but when they destroy it, they will release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And when carbon dioxide is in the atmosphere, it will remain for 50 to 200 years, and some of them will remain forever. Thank you.
For my statement, I agree with the society is the reasons which cause climate change. First of all, is increasing population. Each year, the global population is likely to increase. The demand for natural resource for living is even higher. The resource is many ecosystems, such as forest destructions, land encroachment, to increase worker area of agriculture, setting up for factory to increase productivity. The demand for more natural resource will result in destruction of environment, leading to a loss of natural balance, such as causing heat and aridity. Rain does not fall by the season, soil defensive, wildlife lacks of housings. Next is increasing of new construction. For example, to build the reservoir laws and what we need for our society, such as wood, soils, and water that is limited in area, so the forest will deteriorate and may be gone. Last is our modern technologies. We use chemicals such as pesticide and fertilizers to increase agricultural productivity. This results in residue of this substance in the soil and may spread to the river or ecosystem. So if you use these chemicals in large quantities and for a long time, it makes the production of both plants and animals are chemicals. All of these indirect impacts which can cause of climate change is because of us, because of our society. Thank you.
Thank you for your statement. From your statement that society's activities destroy natural environment, I disagree because natural environment is not destroyed by all of society activities. You might think that cars are widely acknowledged that the most important cause of emission nowadays automotive innovation has been developed to ecology car which eco-friendly, and there are many campaigns which benefit environment to change routine of people. For example, using cloth bag instead of plastic bag, recycling and saving energy, such as turn off lights when not used. So I think it's not only society's activities destroy natural environment, but it also reduces emission.
For the next statements, I disagree that society is only cause of climate change because nature is also strongly cause climate change. Earth's temperature depends on the balance between energy entering and leaving the planet system. When incoming energy from the sun is absorbed by the Earth's system,
Earth warms. When the sun's energy is reflected back into space, Earth avoids warming. When observed energy is released back into space, Earth cools. Nature can cause change in Earth's energy balance, including variations in the sun's energy reaching Earth, change in the reflectivity of Earth's atmosphere and surface, change in the greenhouse effects, which affects the amount of the retained by Earth's atmosphere. These factors have caused Earth's climate change too many times. Scientists have pieced together a record of Earth's climate dating back hundreds of thousands of years by analyzing a number of indirect measures of climate, such as ice core, tree rings, glacier lengths, polar remains, and ocean sediments, and by studying changes in Earth's orbit around the Sun. This record shows that the climate system varies naturally over the wide range of time scales. In general, climate change prior to the Industrial Revolutions in 17th century can be explained by natural causes such as change in solar energy, volcanic eruptions, and natural change in greenhouse gas content.
Thank you for your statement, but I do not agree with your statement. Actually, that is true that we earn sun's energy to our Earth and we need it. But we also destroy atmosphere by indirect impacts, which can protect the higher temperature from the sun. So energy from the sun is the same as is B, but the things which change to protect climate change is our society behavior that is destroy atmosphere layer. Thank you.
To sum up, we argue with society is cause of climate change because humans are causing climate change. For example, air pollution. People use vehicles which make more and more carbon dioxide, which is air pollution, like from a car, motorbikes, and trucks to transport instead of walking. So, it increases carbon dioxide to the atmosphere that relate to climate change. As well, the water pollution is cause of climate change because some people in society or some groups such as factories, they sometimes release a waste from their factory is the water or river. Moreover, humans also influence on the climate system, such as human activities are directly influencing the composition of the atmosphere. By increasing the concentration of the natural occurring greenhouse gas and by adding new ones. Therefore, the best thing we can do to help mitigate climate change is humans change their activity that is cause of climate change. Thank you.
For our conclusion, society is not the only factor that causes climate change, but there are another factors that more important and bigger than society, such as commercial organization, state, industrial, and nature, which are also cause climate change and bigger than society. Thank you.
Thank you for your attention.